this is Monique. Let's do one more project. This time, we're going to hem some suit pants.
So you got a new suit. Looks really good, but since it's a suit, it does not come with any kind of hem in the bottom of the pants. You need to fix that. So when I do it, I like to turn the hem up to the inside so I can really see how it's going to look on the top of the shoe. Always do it with shoes on because that's how you're going to wear it. And then I pin it. Yeah, you could probably use a little bit of a ruler here to make sure your pins are the same distance from the floor, or your folds are anyway, before you put that pin in there. But what's the fun in that? But when I do pin it, because someone's got them on, they're going to take them off, you're going to take it to the sewing machine, I double it through there. In, out, in, out. See, in, out, not just one time in and out. Now take it over and measure. Measure both of them and average the difference between the two pins, even if you did use something to measure your fold from the floor. But don't cut there. That's going to be the bottom of the fold. That is not where you want to cut. You need a little room to fold up. 1.5 to 2 inches is preferable. Then cut that off. Do both legs, not just one. Now I have a serger, so I use the serger so that it gives me that top edge that's finished and not raw. If you don't have a serger, you can zigzag it on your machine, and that will be a reasonable thing to do. You can fold it over one time, just a small fold, but that shows up a little more when you iron it, so I prefer this. Now it's time to pin up that fold. Remember, you measured. See that little yellow notepad? I wrote down how much I was going to turn up so I wouldn't forget. It's pretty easy. It's usually 2 inches, but in case it's different, you want to make sure you remember how much you cut off, how much you want to fold up. So pin it in at least 4 places, at each side seam, and then in the middle of the front and the middle of the back. So for this, it's important that your thread matches absolutely as close as possible. It's a good idea to take the suit pants with you to the store when you buy thread so you can get the one that matches the best. Now watch me thread this. Licked it to make it stiff. Hold it where there's just a tiny piece of thread showing between my thumb and my finger, and put the eye of the needle right down on top of that. Now, to make a knot, I wrap it around my finger like I'm going to tie a knot, but instead of just wrapping once, I twist my finger around a few times. All I'm doing is making the knot a little bit bigger so that it doesn't pull through. Now it's time to get to work. I usually start there on the side seam underneath that seam allowance and catch it on each side of the seam allowance. That gives me 2 spots where I don't have to worry about it showing on the right side. But in order to catch it, I made you this little video with all these nice contrasting colors. And see, you catch like 1 thread, maybe 2 threads, and that's all that you need. Then how do you keep them spaced apart evenly? I use my thumb. I know you can't tell I'm using my thumb, but somehow in my head there's this places on my thumb where I use the top of my thumbnail to measure. It's weird, I know, but it works for me. You could mark it with something different, or if you use the zigzag, you can use the points. If you use a serger, you can count between the stitches. I don't know. I just have this weird thing where my thumb somehow is some magic amount for me. If while you're working you think you get a knot in your thread, first check and make sure it's not just some kind of crazy twist. Unless you have gone through a hole or a loop in the thread, then it's just a twist. Untwist it, straighten it out, and oftentimes you'll get that knot to come out, and because it wasn't quite a true knot anyway. I've been showing you how to hem this pant leg. I just want to make a recommendation that when you do this for someone, do both legs. People are funny about that. I don't know. They like for both of the pant legs to be the same length. You know, whatever. See those little bitty red dots? That's how small you want this stitch to be. And then when you're done, it doesn't show on the pants. Now I have 2 important things I want you to see there. Steam and that fancy pressing cloth. So when you iron these pants, you really want to steam them good. Use the steam on the highest setting, spray a little extra water, and get plenty of steam on there to set that hem in place. I have to tell you, that fancy pressing cloth, that's the fabric that I cut off. And look, ta-da! Doesn't he just look marvelous?
Thanks for joining me. I hope you get those pants hemmed. Here's some words to live by. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself. See you next time.